Good morning, everyone. Well, will they or won't they? This week will be dominated by the FOMC meeting on Tuesday and Wednesday. A Bloomberg poll taken 10 days ago showed that 1/3 of the respondents thought that the Fed would begin tapering at this week's meeting. About a quarter said in January, and the rest said in March. Back in June, Fed Chairman Bernanke set out a three-part test based on employment, growth, and inflation for tapering. He said the FOMC wants to see progress in the job market, supported by improving economic activity and an inflation rate rising towards its 2% target. Recent data shows progress on the first two criteria, but not on the third, inflation. So there's bound to be considerable debate at the FOMC meeting. My personal view is that they will decide to go ahead and that this will prove positive for the dollar, but it's clear that reasonable people can disagree. One reason I think this is because of a criterion that Mr. Bernanke didn't specify, and that is U.S. politics. Back in September, the FOMC was apparently about to pull the trigger, but held back because of the looming U.S. government shutdown. Now, the budget negotiations are going smoothly, and that fiscal risk is gone. If the FOMC wanted to start in September, well then, the economics are only better now, so they might as well go ahead, in my view. If they do taper, I believe they're likely to try to soften the blow by firming up their forward guidance. Mr. Bernanke gave a hint of this in a speech he made back in mid-November when he said that, quote, the target for the federal funds rate is likely to remain near zero for a considerable time after the asset purchases end, perhaps well after the unemployment threshold is crossed, and at least until the preponderance of the data supports the beginning of the removal of policy accommodation, unquote. We could see the Fed insert a comment like that into the statement following the meeting. There's also been apparently some discussion of reducing the interest rate that the Fed pays on reserves in order to encourage banks to make more loans instead of just stashing their money at the Fed. Although tapering is already well discounted in the market, still such a major action often has unforeseen consequences. I think a move to start tapering would be perceived as positive for the dollar, and we'd see the dollar rise against most currencies. For today, we have the preliminary manufacturing and service sector PMIs from France, Germany, and the Eurozone as a whole. The preliminary manufacturing PMI for the Eurozone is forecast to improve slightly, which could prove positive for the euro. In the U.S., the Empire State Manufacturing Survey and U.S. industrial production for November are also expected to show some improvement, which could help the dollar to rebound later in the day. ECB President Draghi speaks to the European Parliament in Brussels. For more information, including technical analysis, please read the full comment on IronFX.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or circle us on Google+ to get more trading ideas. This is Marshall Gittler, head of Global FX Strategy at IronFX, wishing you solid trading.